overreaching, doing things that are unlawful, unconstitutional.
Tonight, states across the West are taking action to prepare for a new Trump administration. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to West Coast Wrap. I'm Alex Savage. Political leaders in states across the West are wasting no time preparing for Trump's second term in the White House, positioning their states to resist his conservative agenda. In at least 6 states, governors and other leaders are speaking out about their plans to push back. We begin our coverage tonight with the legislative session that kicked off in California today. KTVU's Tom Bakar reports many of the state's lawmakers are hoping to use this session to protect progressive policies.
Surprised and dismayed by a large voter shift to the right nationally, state Democrats are looking to resist Trump policies just as they did when Jerry Brown was governor during the first Trump administration.
That's going to be legislation, it's going to be litigation, it's going to be lack of cooperation.
Under Jerry Brown then, the legislature enacted legislation to protect state environmental laws and resist stepped-up Trump immigration enforcement efforts. This time around, the lawmaking will concentrate on civil rights of all kinds, natural resources, the environment, and withholding of federal money, as well as reproductive rights. The court fights will be varied and many.
When it comes to the states versus the federal government, a lot of times, if there's a true conflict, the federal government will win. Again, assuming that the federal government does something legal and valid.
Also under Jerry Brown, California sued the Trump administration some 120 times over policy disputes at a cost of $42 million in legal fees, winning the lion's share of those suits.
We will stop him from overreaching, doing things that are unlawful, unconstitutional, and sue him in court and stop him when he does.
This time around, the California Attorney General himself, a former state legislator, has been given $25 million, a down payment to his office for the court fights sure to come.
We will sue him, and we will do it immediately. We will seek restraining orders, we will seek injunctions, we will use the full force of the law and authority of the office to stop him from doing unlawful things.
As to the thornier goal of making California more affordable, 4 glaring issues: the cost of housing, insurance, electricity, and gasoline loom.
All these things that Democrats haven't been doing over the last couple of cycles. The truth of the matter is that the only way we can do that is to course correct the policies that have been championed by Democrats in the last 10 years.
Former State Senate Pro Tem Don Perrotta told me that it's better to hear what the voters said last election and act on giving them what they want rather than fight Trump at every turn and then take back Congress.
Typically speaking, the party in power tends to lose some power in the midterm elections.
That's particularly true, says Levinson, when the party in power has the presidency, the Senate, and the House of Representatives. Tom Bakar, KTVU Fox 2 News.
Washington's newly elected Governor Bob Ferguson is forming a subcommittee of his transition team to focus on potential fights with the incoming Trump administration. The governor-elect says the committee will be chaired by Planned Parenthood Alliance Advocate CEO Jennifer Allen, as well as King County Council member Jorge Barron. Ferguson is concerned about the implications of a Trump presidency on reproductive rights, access to health care, and environmental protections. He said, quote, "We are preparing in case President Trump attacks Washingtonians' core freedoms. We will keep Washington moving forward no matter what happens at the federal level." Oregon added to its emergency supply of the abortion drug mifepristone shortly after the election. Governor Tina Kotek says she's in regular contact with national and local partners to understand how a Trump administration will affect reproductive health care in Oregon.
Oregonians have shown they will continue to lead with compassion, courage, and conviction, protecting a place where everyone can be themselves, feel welcome, and have equal opportunity to a healthy, prosperous life. We will continue to march forward and stand together as a shield against any attempt to undermine our fundamental freedoms.
Oregon's previous mifepristone supply had an expiration date of September of next year. The new supply won't expire until September of 2028. Colorado Governor Jared Polis is helping to lead a coalition called Governors Safeguarding Democracy, which is viewed by many as an effort to push back against Trump's agenda. While his announcement about the formation of this group does not mention President-elect Trump directly, Governor Polis said, quote, protecting democracy has never been more relevant or important, and doing so demands strong leadership at the state level. And the governors of at least 2 states here in the West say they will not help the Trump administration carry out mass deportations. Arizona Governor Katie Hobbs and New Mexico Governor Michelle Lujan Grisham have said their states won't cooperate. The president-elect said he expects the military will be involved in his deportation plan. President Biden facing criticism tonight from both sides of the aisle for his decision to go back on his word and pardon his son Hunter Biden for gun and tax convictions. A pair of Arizona congressmen are questioning that move.
I think, unfortunately, the president made the wrong decision on this one, and it's going to make it tougher as there's going to continue to be attacks from President-elect Trump and his team, attacks on the independence of the judicial system, the independence of the Department of Justice, at a time that we need to be defending these critical institutions. The decision to pardon his son makes that a lot more difficult.
I think the fact that he issued the pardon was not surprising to me, but I think the fact that it was probably the largest pardon in scope, perhaps in the history of American politics, I think that's what's more troubling to me.
Colorado Governor Jared Polis also says he disagrees with the president's decision on the pardon. Fox's Rebecca Castor has more tonight on the fallout over this controversial decision.
Mr. President, will you answer a few questions? President Joe Biden ignoring the press Monday morning as he boards Air Force One en route to Angola. He'll be out of the country the next 3 days after dropping a major bombshell, pardoning his son Hunter, something he and the White House insisted for months he would not do.
Is there any possibility that the president would end up pardoning his son?
No.
Well,
I just said no. I just answered. Go ahead.
Hunter was found guilty in June on 3 federal gun violations, and in September he pled guilty to 9 federal tax charges. He faced sentencing for both later this month, but that will no longer happen. In a statement, President Biden called his son's convictions a, quote, miscarriage of justice.
Anybody could have understood if Biden had just looked America in the eye and said, look, this is my son. I know it's abusive, but I'm going to pardon him. They would have understood that a lot better than the series of lies. But the series of lies were driven by the election calendar.
The president's pardon doesn't just cover these known crimes, but any crime Hunter may have committed between January 2014 and December 2024.
There should be a continuation of investigation on Hunter for all the things that was going on, because this is one of the most corrupt families that we've ever seen in the White House.
President Biden says he made this decision over the weekend while spending Thanksgiving with his family in Nantucket. In Washington, Rebecca Castor, Fox News.
Tonight, we're hearing from the prominent Southern California attorney who represented Hunter Biden in that tax evasion case. TMZ spoke with Mark Garagos and asked him whether Hunter Biden pleaded guilty in that case because he was confident his father would pardon him. Garagos said there was another motivating factor for that plea.
Essentially, Hunter Biden just said, I don't want to drag my family through this case. He believed that the special prosecutor was going to bring up a lot of really sensitive things and, sex workers testifying in the case. And he did not want his father particularly to have to go through a trial. So Mark Garagos said to Hunter, I think we can beat these charges. We can win this case. We can get you a not guilty verdict. But he says, Mark Garagos says that Hunter decided, I don't want to put my family through that. And that's ultimately why he decided to take the plea deal.
Pleading guilty was considered a risky move for Hunter Biden because it was an open plea deal. That type of deal offers no assurances of a potential sentence. An Oregon teenager was sentenced today for the murder of a 13-year-old girl. 18-year-old Daniel Gore was sentenced to life in prison with the possibility of parole after 38 years. Gore was found guilty of murder, rape, and sexual abuse of 13-year-old Melanie Lee. Her body was found in a park in suburban Portland in May of 2022. Gore was 16 years old at the time of the murder, but he was tried as an adult. A Colorado woman accused of killing 2 of her children appeared in a London courtroom today for an extradition hearing. A judge is deciding whether Kimberly Singler should be sent back to the U.S. to face murder charges for the December 2023 killings in Colorado Springs. Singler's attorney argues his client should not be extradited because if she's convicted of first-degree murder in Colorado, she would face life without parole. That sentence violates European human rights law. The judge in London is expected to deliver a ruling in January.
We've argued the case today, and the judgment is going to be given in January, so we look forward to hearing what the judge says.
In a statement to police, her 11-year-old daughter, who survived the attack, told authorities her mother said God made her do it. Singler has denied attacking her children and is concerned her daughter's statement to police was coerced. A U.S. Coast Guard crew has suspended its search for 5 people who were on a boat that capsized off the coast of Alaska. That fishing vessel toppled over southwest of Juneau yesterday. Search crews say the boat hit rough waters during stormy weather. 7 cold water immersion suits and 2 strobe lights were found in that search area. There are no signs of any survivors, and the search for the crew has been called off. Tonight, authorities are searching the waters off the California coast for a cruise ship passenger who's believed to have gone overboard. The 72-year-old man, who was traveling alone, likely disappeared early this morning as the Ruby Princess ship was heading into San Francisco, where it's now docked. This was the culmination of a 5-day cruise to Ensenada, Mexico. The Coast Guard has been called in to search the waters between Monterey and the San Francisco Bay. Tonight, Los Angeles police are now saying the Hawaii woman who disappeared after landing at LAX is no longer considered missing. Investigators say Hannah Kobayashi was seen on video crossing into Mexico alone back on November 12th. Police Chief Jim McDonnell says there is no evidence she's the victim of foul play, and this is now considered a voluntary missing person case. Kobayashi's father, who joined the search for his daughter, was found dead near LAX last weekend after apparently taking his own life. Coming up tonight here on West Coast Wrap, processing thousands of orders in minutes. And that's just one Amazon facility here in the West. Tonight, see how the e-tailer keeps up with the demands of Cyber Monday. Plus, some Arizona State students make a good impression on NASA, how they scored big when they were put to the test.
A quiet, unseasonably warm start to December for much of the West, including San Francisco, hitting almost 70 degrees today. A better look at what we can expect for the days ahead coming up.
In Oregon, an agreement to end an ongoing teachers' strike fell apart overnight. Teachers had reached a tentative agreement on classroom size, pay, and benefits after a 12-day work stoppage. But there is still one last sticking point. That's whether teachers will be paid for the days they've been out on strike and how those missed school days will be made up. Negotiations ran into the early morning hours without a deal.
To bed very hopeful and excited for today, and then woke up to bad news. It does feel hard to have hope when something as small as that puts us in between being able to see our students again.
The district wants to add 7.5 school makeup days out of the 12 days the teachers have been on strike. In their most recent statement, school officials said, quote, the district will continue to work collaboratively with the GAEA on a final strike settlement agreement to end the strike and return staff to work as soon as possible. We turn now to Nevada, where a 2.5-week strike by the Culinary Union is now the longest in more than 2 decades. Employees at Virgin Hotels Las Vegas have been working without a contract since the summer of 2023. The union says every other hotel in Las Vegas has reached a contract agreement, and it's now condemning Virgin for relying on temporary workers to keep the hotel open as union workers remain committed to staying on the picket lines. In a statement, Virgin said, quote, despite Virgin Hotels Las Vegas agreeing to many of the Culinary Union's demands and showing flexibility on critical sticking points, the Culinary Union has not seriously countered any of our economic proposals, nor even brought our latest offer to their members for a formal vote. Alaska and Delta Airlines have been hit with a class action lawsuit over the effects of jet emissions near the SeaTac airport in the Seattle-Tacoma area. This lawsuit says Alaska and Delta operate 80% of the flights out of SeaTac and that their emissions cause physical harm, death, and property damage. The lawsuit was allowed to proceed after a federal judge rejected a bid by the airlines to have it tossed out. Across the West, Amazon fulfillment centers are buzzing with Cyber Monday activity. Fox 13's Nikki Torres got inside one of those fulfillment centers to see what it takes to keep up with holiday shoppers.
Here at the Amazon delivery station, there are a couple hundred people working to push thousands of packages out the door. So we are going to bring in Dave, who is the senior station manager here. You really orchestrate everything that goes on in this facility. When it's Cyber Monday, this is kind of like your Super Bowl of the year. So many people are shopping. Talk to us about the behind the scenes and really how you make this magic happen, because you guys are pushing thousands out hourly, really.
There's a lot going on behind the scenes. It's a very busy time of the year with Black Friday just happening and now Cyber Monday. Essentially from Thanksgiving to Christmas, we see influx of volume, a demand when people hit the buy now button, tens of thousands of more packages that we do nightly. Approximately from midnight to 8 in the morning, we process roughly around 50,000 packages in that time frame, about 6 hours. And then throughout the rest of the day, we're taking those packages and we're sorting them onto the delivery trucks that you see around your neighborhood that are delivering them to your house.
And talk about a well-oiled machine. The second workers get out here, they really know exactly what to do, where they're going, and that really helps with the timing of everything. That's how they're able to get these packages out within 1-2 days, sometimes even just overnight.
Sometimes within 4 hours. We have a same-day service where you can order right before you go to bed, and it'd show up at your doorstep before you woke up in the morning.
Amazing. Okay, well, it's Cyber Monday.
It is.
We can't go without not talking about the gifts. So we have a little gift station here. These are some of the best sellers, even from Black Friday. So let's talk about some of these products, maybe give people some ideas if they're looking for gift options for their loved ones.
So Black Friday, we saw a huge demand. One of the top selling things were small items like Apple earbuds or AirPods. The Bissell Green Machine here was a huge hit. It's particularly great if you have children or pets. It's a great cleaning system. Legos are another big ticket item this year. The Lego Christmas trees, things like that. And then we also have a local-based business, Popsmith, that is selling on Amazon today too. So if you're a popcorn lover, it's a great gift for friends or family.
Tons of great deals here. Dave, thank you very much. This is something really cool. In just this facility alone, in right around a 6-hour shift, they do average right around 50,000 packages that head out the door just within that time span. In Puyallup, I'm Nikki Torres, Fox 13 News.
Over the Bay Area and parts of California today, above average. Los Angeles coming in at 76 this afternoon. Los Angeles area expected to remain in the upper 70s, nearing 80 degrees in the days ahead with little change expected. Here's a view of some of the highs from the afternoon today. San Jose in the Bay Area coming in at 71, over towards the desert Southwest. Phoenix 81 degrees. Not everybody enjoying the heat. Take a look at what's going on in Seattle at this time. 38 degrees, Portland 39. These areas in the low to mid 40s this afternoon. So really you have to get into areas along California and then farther in towards the desert Southwest to have that unseasonably warm weather. But when it comes to the dry weather, everybody is involved in this. Here's a look at the West Coast satellite, where for the last several days we've had dry weather after that big event a week and a half ago or so. Thanksgiving was dry for most areas and through the holiday weekend as well. And we are going to continue on this path. High pressure remains parked over the Pacific Northwest, and that is bringing on even a northeast flow at times for parts of California. So dry and warm. Here is a look at the forecast heading all the way into Thursday when the ridge does begin to break down, or the high pressure moves off to the east just a little bit. Storm track continues to get pushed well to the north into Canada, but it may begin to clip areas of Washington as we get into the evening hours on a Thursday night. So a chance for a little bit of unsettled weather coming towards the end of the week for areas over the Pacific Northwest, but areas over California and the Intermountain West as well as the desert Southwest expected to remain high and dry with temperatures again well above average getting into the next several days. Here's a look at the extended forecast last at least the next few days. As we take a peek over the west, notice areas over Seattle continuing with temperatures in the 40s. So it's going to be dry, but it's going to be cool, introducing the possibility of scattered showers on Thursday. Meanwhile, the state of California sitting pretty. Mid to upper 60s expected for San Francisco tomorrow, Wednesday, and then slightly cooler on Thursday. Los Angeles area will be well into the upper 60s to upper 70s, depending on the part of Los Angeles you are in. And Arizona, Phoenix taking the cake once again. Temperatures in the low 80s for tomorrow and only cooling down slightly into the upper 70s Wednesday and Thursday. Alex?
Rosemary, thank you. Coming up tonight here on West Coast Wrap, NASA is praising a group of engineering students at Arizona State University tonight to how a student project could help to improve lunar landings. Plus, a second chance at life for a mountain lion who's faced serious health issues, her long road to recovery and release back into the wild. Tonight, a group of engineering students at Arizona State University are celebrating their win in a NASA design competition called the Big Idea Challenge. Fox 10's Ashley Rodriguez spoke to those students whose project could help NASA with future lunar landings.
It started with NASA asking universities all around the country to come up with a new idea.
This year it was inflatable devices and systems.
This year, students would get $150,000 to fix a problem on the moon.
Dust is everywhere on the moon.
And the moon's dust is like sharp glass. It can damage NASA's instruments, especially when lunar landers' high-velocity gases kick up huge plumes of it.
That can even go into orbit and damage satellites.
16 ASU students who work inside the university's Luminosity lab spent a month coming up with their big idea. They finally landed on an inflatable lunar landing pad system, or AGIS.
I've never been on a project this long term and this massive before.
Out of 40 submissions from universities, ASU was chosen. Now just one of 6 groups who spent the next 8 months building their big idea.
We're in the lab at 2 a.m. like, where do we go from here? And we did. We just kept going.
Every day, the lab was buzzing with design ideas, research, and testing each component of the system. Their eyes on the prize and the deadline, which was in November in Las Vegas, where they had to present their big idea to a panel of judges. And ASU's Luminosity Lab won, walking away with the Best Systems Engineering Award.
It's not just developing a lunar landing pad for the moon. Whatever that next big challenge is going to be, this is the team of students who can solve it.
This is the 3rd year that ASU's Luminosity Lab has competed in NASA's Big Idea Challenge and won, and you can guarantee it won't be the last. At ASU, Ashley Rodriguez, Fox 10 News.
Finally tonight, an important milestone for a California mountain lion months in the making. New video posted online shows last month's release of the big cat back into the wild. The female was brought to the San Diego Humane Society back in May. She was severely emaciated, anemic, and had soft tissue trauma. Humane Society workers suspect she was attacked by other animals. The mountain lion went through months of rehabilitation, becoming healthy enough to be released back into the wild. Handlers let her go into the San Bernardino County wilderness. They are now tracking her well-being with the help of a GPS collar. Great to see her doing much better. That does it for West Coast Wrap tonight. We appreciate you watching as always. Have a great rest of your night.